So my game is called Monarch Black. It's a procedurally generated flying shooting game. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to talk and play since I need both hands. So I'm just going to play a little bit, show you guys the gameplay, and then I'll take some questions afterwards. I'm just going to speed through a little bit just so I can show you guys the next level. So this is the tutorial where you're kind of learning the basic mechanics. And this is actually going to be the same each time, but then the further levels are all procedurally generated, so they're different each time you play. They're different each time you play. Thank you, Dan. So yeah, each time you pass through a level, you get a chance to upgrade your characters so you can get different weapons and different power-ups. And then that's basically, so you play a level, collect some experience from killing enemies, and then move to the next level. And right now there are 10 different environments. So this is the kind of first real level. As you can see, we have these structures, which you can see are growing out as the game plays, so they're kind of growing over time and changing the way the level is. And the enemies spawn out those structures. The goal is to collect these glowing, I call them plants, and you're collecting pollen grains from them. Then the enemies will pursue you, try to shoot you with their lasers. You can see the level growing out there. And so you can actually go through without killing the enemies, but then in later levels you will be less powerful, so it's a little bit more challenging. And so the main things that I was trying to achieve here were just to create something with a kind of an interesting feeling of movement, of being able to kind of fly with a lot of freedom through these sort of abstract spaces. I'm still tuning the controls. I would say the game is probably 80% done. I'm hoping to get like an early alpha beta out in the next maybe 3 months to start getting some feedback from the public. So right now I have 19 of 30 of the things that I need, so let me just try to find one more. And maybe we can show one, at least at the beginning of the next level. Before we get there, maybe I'll start taking some questions just as I finish up. Anybody? Yeah?
Will this have VR capability?
You know, the challenge about bringing this to VR is that it would make people throw up. Even without VR, I have some players who experience some simulator sickness or motion sickness from playing. It is a little dizzying, you know, you can spin around pretty quickly, and I think it would be nauseating for VR. Even just walking in VR would be nauseating. So, you know, I think that would be a big challenge. One of the things I kind of like to do, I have been experimenting with some VR stuff, and for the release I did make a VR sort of experience thing that was much less interactive, where you're kind of in this environment with this art style, but you can't fly around and shoot, because I think that would just be a little extreme for people. Yeah, in front.
I remember playing this at a recent Playcrafting event, and you had a demo of this before. What's changed since that previous presentation?
Well, if you saw it during the Winter Expo, it's basically I've just been tuning. So here we can see some of the power-ups. So this is like an orbiting little robot that will shoot. You can get more health. This is a different weapon called arc lightning that bounces off the walls. I'll just show you guys that. And then this flutter allows you to dash more often, and this will replace your homing missile with like a 5 shorter range missiles. So that's kind of the idea. It's a very loose interpretation of the roguelike idea. So you have 1 life, the levels are randomly generated, and we have these kind of random power-ups and weapons. So if you were able to get to the end, you could probably complete a run in about maybe 40 minutes. But the idea is that hopefully by playing again with different weapons and different, those are rockets, you have to have a good experience. So I'm aiming for kind of something pretty replayable. One more question? Yeah.
Is there a story to the game?
The story is humans have polluted and heated the earth, everybody's drowned, and the only thing that are left are insects.
Yeah, that's